I'm going to be talking to us about certain lessons that I've learned in the course of my life up till this point that have been very, very insightful and impactful. And I feel if you can capture these lessons in your own life and learn them early, you will be able to avoid the mistakes and the pitfalls that I've made, and then you'll be able to live a better, more productive life. Number one lesson is this. At the beginning of life, what all of us have, what life bestows upon us is an abundance of time. So we have time in abundance that life has deposited in our time wallet. And it is from this that we keep withdrawing as we keep growing up in life. And this is very important because you find out that this has an impact in almost everything else that we do in life. That leads to the second lesson, which is that at the beginning of life, we trade time, that time, for money. It means that the first and the earliest thing that we would have been able to do is to utilize our time to make money and in exchange for money. This is very important, and this is why it's important, because a lot of people do not understand the impact and the effect of this, and they end up using their whole life trading their time for money. You find out that if you trade your time for money in life, you can never have the money, because what you will always have is just something to live by. You will not achieve it. You will only just always have just enough. And some people mistakenly lock themselves down in this cycle. How do they do it? They lock themselves down in a job. They lock themselves down in a paid employment. Or they lock themselves down in a trade that they do not understand the dynamics. And they end up continually trading their time for money. What does this mean again? It means that before you can make money, the amount of money that you are able to make is dependent on the time that you put into it. That is where the whole idea of 9 to 5 comes in. You go to work from 9 to 5 and they pay you what is called a salary. And that is why you find out that sometimes when there are issues, maybe there are strike, the government will say, no work, no pay. If you don't work, we don't pay you. Because we do not get the value of your time, you will not have that money. So you find out that a lot of people now lock themselves down into this thing for 35 years or till they are 65 or 60 years of age, as the case may be, which is when they retire. So you find out that you keep yourself in this cycle of trading your time for money. You go to work in the morning, you finish that day's job, you get home in the evening, you do nothing else with your time, you waste it in unproductive things, waiting for the next day, and then what do? You are looking forward to the next high that you are going to get, which is the salary at the end of the month. They give you that salary at the end of the month, you spend it, you finish it within 1 week, you keep wasting and putting in the time again, waiting for the next high in 30 days. So a lot of people just do this for the next 35 or 30 years, as the case may be, or till they are 60 or 65. Now, by the time they are 60 or 65, you have almost always finished withdrawing from your time deposit. So you have less. The reality is that at the beginning, yes, you have to trade that time to get money, but you must have a plan, because your time is limited, but the money, and as long as you trade your time for money, you will always have limited amount of money. But if you learn to use your money to buy more time, it makes all the difference. And I can give us a simple scenario. Imagine, let us say Mr. A, who works 10 hours in a day. And that 10 hours that he works in a day, every hour is being paid $500. So at the end of the day, he makes how much in a day? $5,000 because he worked for 10 hours. Now, multiply this by 30 days. He gets $150,000 at the end of the month, putting in his 10 hours in a day. Now, if this man wants more money, what is he going to do? He's going to put in more time. And he's going to say, okay, I'm working 10 hours, so I'm getting 5,000 per day. Let me increase it to 12 hours. Let me increase it to 11 hours. But let me even paint an extreme situation for you. Let us say that Mr. A now say, let me double it. Let me increase it to 20 hours. Let me work 20 hours in a day. Beautiful, fantastic. When you work 20 hours in a day, what is he going to get? He gets $10,000 in a day. Huge amount of money. Multiply that by 30 days, he gets $300,000 in a month. Double of what he had made before. Great. He's putting in more time. He's making him more money. But let me paint the example and the scenario of somebody else, Mr. B. So Mr. B also started the same way like Mr. A. $500 per hour, and he put in 10 hours in a day. So at the end of the month, he gets his $150,000. Now, let us say that Mr. B now decides to save $100,000 out of that $150,000, and then he managed to sustain himself on that $50,000. So he put aside that $100,000, and then he worked the next month, and he's able to make $150,000 again, and he saved another $100,000. He has $200,000. Now, what does he do? He now take that his $200,000. He now goes to people, 10 people, and say, I'm going to give you $20,000 to work for me. Now, this is what I require from you. For each hour, just give me $100. Each of you, give me $100. Give you $20,000. Work for me. Give me $100 per hour. Now, let us say each of those people now give in 10 hours in a day. That means each of them will give him $1,000. 100 times 10, that's $1,000. And he has 10 of them. That means cumulatively daily, he's going to have $10,000. At the end of the month, what will he have? $300,000. But do you see the beauty of it? He had made this $300,000 without 1 hour input from himself. In fact, if that Mr. B is wise, what he would have been doing is that at the same time, he might decide to say, let him also still be putting in his 10 hours at that point. So he's still making $150,000 so that he can have more money to invest. So now let us say that he has put in another $150,000 the third month. So these people give him $300,000 and he has saved another $100,000. So he has another $400,000. And then he now goes to look for 20 people to give $20,000 to. That's the money he has saved. Now, by the next month, what is he going to get? It means that at that time now, it means that he has 30 people working for him. That is what we mean by your money working for you. He has 30 people now working for him. And remember, each one of these 30 people gives him $1,000 in a day. Multiply $1,000 by 30. That is $30,000 in a day. Multiply $30,000 in a day by 30 days. That's $900,000 $100,000. Now, this point is so poignant that if you understand it, and I think that is one of the biggest lessons in this thing. Now, this man had made $900,000. And if you look at the analysis, in less than a year, he's making 900,000. The other man is still making his 300,000. But I can assure you, by the time he's making that 900,000, believe me, that other man would have been in the hospital if he's not dead. Because it is impossible for you to work 20 hours in a day continuously without breaking down. So you find out that while this man, even if he's not working that 20 hours, if he's still working his 10 hours, he will still be struggling and continuing doing that his 10 hours every day and having his 150,000 daily. Whereas this other man is suffering himself and has saved the money. You find out that this man, after some months, he will tell you that he has retired. He has retired because he doesn't need to work again. You find out that what he has at that point, if he doesn't even add anything to it, if he does not make more investments, he will be having $900,000 every month. That's the difference between financial literacy and financial illiteracy. That is the difference between understanding and lack of it. Because you see how the other man created financial freedom for himself, while the other man is still struggling financially. And that is the story of a lot of us. By the time a lot of people realize this thing, it is too late. You know why this thing also is important, and I can use it to dovetail into the third thing, is the fact that everything in life takes time. The fallacy or the error that we have in this generation is that we all want it now. I want to be rich now, tomorrow. I want to have a toned body now. I want to have it tomorrow. I want to build a house. You see someone, he's having a beautiful life. I want the same life now. So you see this person, you admire them, you look at them, you're like, this is awesome. And you want to get to the same place that they have been now, not realizing how long it took them to get to that place. So everything in life takes time, and it's simple. And if you learn this lesson early in life, it will make all the difference. Because there's a time that what makes all the difference is just the time that you have and that you are putting. Today, we see Warren Buffett as one of the greatest investors of our time, and is a multi-billionaire. Multi-billionaire is worth over $100 billion. But what a lot of us do not understand and do not know about Warren Buffett is that the larger percentage of his wealth did not come until after he was about 61. Now, let me tell you something else. Warren Buffett started investing when he was 10 years old. That means it was after 50 years that he was reaping the gain of it and the benefit of it. An oak tree, when you look at oak tree, they take years to grow and blossom. If you see oak trees, some of them are over 100 years. At the beginning, things are slow, but they keep watering them, you keep growing them. It will get to a point where the thing will blossom, even beyond even what you envisage. That is how life is. And that is the importance of time in everything that we do. So whatever you do, stop expecting things to grow now. Understand the importance of time, which is why it is important for you to start early. Whatever you want to do it early. Start it early. It is never too late wherever you are. The next point is that, which is number 4, is that everything in life compounds. And I've done a video on the law of compounding. If you had not watched this, the link will be down in this post. you can go and watch it so you can learn more about the law of compounding. So, the previous point or lesson that I mentioned, where I talked about Warren Buffett and about the importance of time, is that everything compounds. So, if you have done something for 40 years, you will have much more than somebody that is doing it for 10 years. I was playing around one day and I did an analysis. I said, and I asked AI to do the math for me. I said, if I invest $5,000 every year, compounding at about, I think, 5%, I forgot whether 5% or 10% annually, how much will I have in 10 years? And AI told me that I will have about $72,000. I said, okay, good. But I was like, 10 years, $72,000. Maybe you're not getting what I'm saying. It means that in that 10 years, I would have put in $50,000. So I put in $50,000. And then the money that I was going to get, well, I think the difference was about 15,000. It was on it. And I was like, it's not much. I now told him to do the same thing for 50 years. And the result was over $1 million. And I calculated it. In that 50 years, you would have put in $250,000. But what I was getting, compounding, was over $1 million. That signifies everything. That tells you what we're talking about, the effect and the import of time. And that is why whatever you're doing in life, be ready to give it time. Be ready to give it time because everything compounds. So the same way every positive thing compound, every negative thing also compound. So when, as you're growing up, you are conscious of what you're eating, you are exercising, you are feeding yourself mentally properly, everything will keep increasing and compounding. And then this will be an indication of who you're going to be in the next 5, 10, 20 years. But if you're doing the opposite, you are just trading your time for money, exchanging it for money, and the remaining time that you have, you're just using them in activities that you cannot account for. You're just basically wasting them. Everything also will keep compounding. And that is where you will find yourself in the next 5, 10, 20 years. So never forget this lesson. Whatever you are doing today, whether big or small, remember, it keeps adding up. Because as you are doing it day after day, it's forming who you are. So, having talked about some of these rules, we cannot capture all the lessons in one video. So I think I'm going to do the part 2 of this. But before we go into that, don't forget this. You are enough. Always remember, you have enough inside of you. Everything you want to be, everything you are going to be, and everything that you want in life is all deposited inside of you. Nothing is outside of you. Everything is within you. But it is the application. In fact, no, not the application phase. In fact, it is the realization that leads to the application. If you don't realize who you are, you cannot apply who you are. So realize the fullness of who you are. Then you can bring out all your potential to be the best you are. That is the whole essence of Inspire Adetunji. So that you can have an impactful life. So that you can become one of the men or women of renown that the world will be talking about. That your generations after you will be talking about. That you do exploit, that you live your life to its fullness. Follow me on this journey. And like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.